user experience in advertising means everything. If you don't have the end user in mind with whatever product that you're developing, who you're developing it for. You know, it's so important not to lose sight of who's going to be using your products at the end of the day. And I find that over the years I've seen when people forget about the user, they get so fascinated with what's possible, but not what's enjoyable, and that's where things start breaking down.
User experience is basically all you have. If there is anything else outside of that, I don't know what it is, but what's important is what user experience can learn from games, which is that they draw on, not on freedom, but on constraints, and the ways that choices become more meaningful when they're more restricted, which is counterintuitive for a lot of people, but very, very important in terms of how we experience the things that we do online.
User experience is the big missing piece for most agencies. If you think about it, we're in a world now where most media is behind the interface. Most media is, even TV, it's behind an interface, right? It's either behind a stream or behind some sort of... And yet, how many agencies have actually got experienced designers? We have as many experienced designers as we do copywriters and art directors, because we think that if you want to be an expert in media, you need to understand interfaces. I don't understand how you could not claim to use media on your client's behalf without experienced design. I just don't understand it. At least have a literacy in it, because I guarantee the thing that you're making is behind the interface.
So when I think about the role that user experience plays digitally on sites like Backchannel, it's totally different than it was a decade ago. You know, a decade ago, it was about giving readers good stories to read. Today, it's about inviting our readers into our community to talk with us about the issues that matter. So sure, maybe the story looks the same, but it's an entirely different beast.
So we think user experience plays a huge role. If you looked at the New York Times over the last few years, one of the areas that we've seen the most growth is in terms of the people who work in product and technology and our consumer business and on brand, where we're deeply thinking about user experience. And I would say nothing is more important than the content that goes into the experience we deliver, but that experience has really risen in terms of the importance of how we get it to somebody and how they engage with us, and it's going to keep getting more significant.
So I think the user experience plays the biggest role in any way to achieve your KPIs. And so if you're going to want to maximize your sales, I think you need to focus on how you can play the consumer and build it up, because if you don't get her in and then you don't take her through the right experience, you're not going to get a sale in your basket. So I think the way that we can improve this is to really start to focus on the consumer more and start having the internal conversation we have with each other.
For me, I think user experience underscores everything that happens. So before we start leaping to the ways that advertising can change people's lives and the way that new technologies such as proximity beacons, etc., can change people's lives through advertising, I think it's fundamentally important that we figure out the use cases in normal life. How can we make life easier, more egalitarian for everybody? And then on top of that, we should be thinking about layering advertising use cases. So user experience is fundamentally important in order for people to understand and embrace advertising use cases.